Okay. So we're here today with a recent Educators Abroad AOQTS graduate, and I'd like to welcome Antonella Aloigi. Welcome, Antonella.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you very much. We do appreciate our valued graduates letting our audience know a little bit about what a day in the life of a AOQTS candidate is like. And so I'll just start with the questions. Why did you decide to get QTS?
Okay, I am a music teacher and I'm specialized in strings and violin and performance. So I started teaching in international schools with my master's degree in violin and this kind of teaching qualification. And it was perfectly fine. However, because I came to this change in career a little bit later in my career, I realized that having also a specific music education QTS and a QTS from the UK would be extremely valuable. So I decided to embark on it. And I realized that many schools, actually, most schools request this kind of qualification. So I proposed it to my school and the school endorsed it. And they also helped me a little bit financially, which I think often happens as well. So that was great. And it was a fantastic experience.
Excellent. Yeah, there's no doubt. You say it quite rightly. There is an increasing demand for teachers who have not yet achieved QTS to obtain it. So well done on congratulating that and opening many doors ahead, I'm sure. My next question is, why did you choose Educators Abroad?
Okay, I searched on internet and also my school advised a few different options. I think I was very convinced by what I saw on the website, first of all. And then I contacted the admission officers and the head of admission, I think it was. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name now, but they were very, very proactive, answering questions, very fast in answering my emails, and quite specific as well, which was important for me because I realized that my case is not unique, but of course, music teachers are not the main, it was a very specific case. So I realized that they were giving me answers with knowledge and experience of this case of music teachers looking for an assessment only QTS. Yeah.
Excellent. So glad that everyone was very responsive in answering your questions. That's great news. And how about the next question would be, how would you describe a day in the life of an AOQTS candidate?
Okay, busy, very busy, of course, because it's a high profile qualification. So of course it has to be busy. It really, I think it really depends though on the background of the candidate. So for me, it was quite a bit of work for two reasons. First of all, my university studies were not in English. So I had to really polish my English, my academic English. And I also had to do the GCSE in English as part, of that. So that was a bit of work that I enjoyed. But and then, of course, because I'm not super young, so I had a lot of materials. So when it came to creating the portfolio, having so much choice is actually overwhelming, or at least it was for me. So I guess for younger people, it's much more straightforward. So I also learned a lot from this experience in sorting out documents, in organizing all the materials and documentation that I had. So yeah, so busy, but very, very rewarding. I really enjoyed, and I learned even, if I'm not that young, it was a learning process, which is important because it's not just to get that piece of paper, right? It's getting something out of it. Even if it was an assessment only route that I took, I really learned a lot. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. It's a very reflective process. And, even with lots of experience that you have, it's like you say, we continue to reflect as educators and to gain more knowledge, more skills, and information, which is really, really what it's about in improving our practice. So well done. Yes. That's an excellent point. How did your EA supervisor work with you to support you?
Okay, so both my supervisors were absolutely wonderful. So I'm not sure I can mention the names, so I will pass on that. But they were absolutely wonderful. We had several meetings, so it's everything was online. My QTS was during COVID, just at the end of COVID as well. So everything was online, and they were super flexible in this, because normally they have to come to the school and, be there to supervise. But there was a lot of flexibility in that. And of course, from my side as well, because I had to provide a lot of proof and evidence of my teaching. So all the meetings were online with my mentor. So I had a supervisor and then a mentor in school, and they were my supervisor was literally an email away. I just emailed, and straight away I would get a response. And both of them were not only helping me, it was a difficult time, COVID, and they were helping me not only on the practical aspect, but also emotional. When I was kind of overwhelmed, there was always this idea that I could do it. So encouragement, positivity, really fantastic, and the feedback was very specific. They are super experienced, with a lot of experience in teaching and being principals. So they really helped me with specific feedback and keeping me on track as well when, time-wise, because that's important. I know that some candidates, I'm quite efficient as a person, but I know that some candidates get a little bit lost, and I know that they have a very, very high positive way, efficient way to keep candidates on track, which is very important because we're all very busy as teachers in schools and in international schools. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that Educators Abroad has done to adapt to post-pandemic conditions is that it's no longer a requirement for a supervisor to go to a school. And so that most candidates can work online the way that you had. And so that is absolutely one of the benefits of what's come out of the pandemic, learning how we can do this without requiring that face-to-face visit. Fantastic. And how did your school work with you to support you through this process?
So Educators Abroad asked me to have a mentor in my school, and I chose, my mentor was the deputy principal. She was from the UK, so that was great because she had a big experience coming from the UK, and she had done that before. So we had online meetings again with her. I had a regular meeting every week, face-to-face. It was not online. And she was very helpful because the mentor goes through all the portfolio. So every week we planned some parts of the portfolio to look at together. And then there are other submissions that need to be done, and policies and documents that we need to know from the UK. And of course, she helped a lot with that, actually fetching the documents and reading them with me and briefing me on them. So that was very, very good. And we also had meetings with my supervisor. So we had meetings with the mentor, myself, and the supervisor. That would happen every few weeks. Yeah, not all the time.
So I think it would be
very flexible. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And that's what I think safest to say that you didn't go to your final assessment through one of our university assessors until you felt ready and the supervisors felt you were ready. And so, we know there's 100% pass rate in Educators Abroad. And so it's when you feel ready and you feel confident to go to that next step. So that's really great to hear, and also great to hear how supportive your mentor was, which is really fantastic. But then finally, would you recommend Educators Abroad to other prospective AOQTS candidates, and why?
Yes, I would definitely go for it. I'm an enthusiast person, and I'm happy to, I've already recommended, and I would do definitely. I have a few reasons. I reflected about this. So the main reason is I think it's a good value for money. It was a bit expensive, and I'm not sure if more or how much more, but I felt that the flexibility, the options, the support, and the expertise provided was really of great value. So that's one aspect. The supervisors and also the examiner was extremely kind and were extremely kind. And I'm mentioning the examiner because I think that's important, because in the end, that's the final part. And I felt very comfortable. And this idea of kindness was, a leitmotif of the not only the whole process, but also of the exams. The exam, and that's important, of the assessment. That's how it's called, assessment. Yeah. I felt there was no waste of time. That's another important aspect. As I said, teachers are busy and we're all very busy. And we often, when candidates want to achieve this qualification, they want to do, or they need to do it as fast as possible. But they also need some flexibility, as you said, to feel ready for it. So there were a lot of, I felt that there could be a lot of accommodation if I needed. And that's important because I didn't feel stressed. And so the QTS system is, of course, is a fixed system. It's rigid, it has rules, but the idea of having this flexibility and the positivity to make it successful, I never felt I couldn't succeed because of the support I received. So they provide a pathway to success. Educators abroad does that. It provides a pathway to success for the candidate. I think that's very, very, very valuable.
Fantastic. And succeed you did. And really many congratulations to you. And we wish you all the best on the next stage of your journey and your career. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Interested in learning more about educators abroad? Visit our website and follow us on social media.